The City Council in Williams Lake, British Columbia, is looking to impose a state of emergency, citing increased threats to public safety. Now, this proposal is receiving pushback, including from our next guest, who calls it disingenuous and dangerous rhetoric. Meghan McDermott is Policy Director for the BC Civil Liberties Association. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, what's wrong with a state of emergency to sweep up problems in downtown Williams Lake?
Well, first of all, there doesn't seem to be, an acute problem to the point that it would rise to the legal threshold to declare an emergency. So first of all, it's just an extremely heavy-handed approach and really kind of shows a lack of awareness of how the laws even work here in BC. I know that local councils do have authority and ability to plan for emergencies, and I'm sure Williams Lake already has a plan, but the way that the law works is that the emergencies are usually about, earthquakes, floods, forest fires, as we are seeing people react to today in Canada. It's not about, individuals wandering around in a city or people without a place to live. That's just a really ignorant way to think about emergency powers in Canada.
So I talked to the mayor yesterday, interviewed him live on this program, and he talked about the mayhem they have in downtown Williams Lake, that some people don't feel safe in downtown Williams Lake, and that he would look at other options, but he feels a state of emergency would give police sweeping powers to deal with that. What would you say to him?
I would say that already police have a lot of discretion to address criminal issues, to address mental health issues. They have the power under the Mental Health Act to apprehend individuals, take them to healthcare professionals. As it is, there's absolutely no need to have some kind of blanket provision to kind of push your law enforcement officers to go out and gather up anybody that may look like they have no place to live or otherwise. This idea of street disorder is really nefarious and sinister, and it just really shouldn't be entertained in our communities.
Yeah, now the backdrop here in all of this is that in a lot of communities, including Vancouver, there's concern about public drug use, of crime that's sometimes fueled by people who are addicted. Lack of safety sometimes. We've seen pictures just on West Georgia Street, not far from where we're standing, where a person walking by on the sidewalk is violently punched for no good reason. So you can probably understand why people are feeling sometimes afraid and frustrated. And so what do you say to them, the people who say they just don't feel safe in their own communities?
Yeah, it's understandable that people are seeing the rising inequality show up in this way, that the symptoms of our rising inequality is that we do have people that, aren't having their basic needs met, and that can scare people when we see people having to rely on public spaces. I also want to point out that our own provincial government and federal governments have been flip-flopping about their drug policy too. So it's kind of really egregious to, in a province where just recently we took a hands-off approach to drug use, that now is being used as a reason to maybe want to gather up people and lock them up. But the issue, the root causes of these problems, again, is inequality and a lack of provincial and federal resources into housing, mental health and addictions resources. The proposal did talk about the lack of wraparound services. And so really what people concerned about these issues, and even myself, I'm really interested in having our other levels of government step up and respond to these issues that, we continue to see municipal leaders kind of they're unable or are unsure what to do when they hear from their communities, and if their communities are scared. But again, the thing is that just because things are changing and we're seeing these symptoms doesn't mean that they are as scary as people may perceive. Again, as I say, police already have so much discretion to pick people up and to take them places against their will, to detain them, to hold them overnight. We see that over and over again. So this idea that they need to do even more and impose curfews is just really scary to us.
We only have 30 seconds left, but you touched on it at the beginning. I mean, do you have a sense of unreality that Williams Lake is actually thinking about a state of emergency to deal with this?
Yeah, it's frankly bizarre. I mean, I say this as somebody who's even, gone up there, and I know the interior and the Caribou too, but to be proposing this is just such a bizarre response. And I even think about the lawyers working with these leaders, and I would say good luck to them, because it's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It's just impossible to do. We just can't use emergency powers this way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that should be the end of the story.
All right, Meghan McDermott from BC Civil Liberties, thank you very much for coming in and articulating that point of view. I appreciate it.
Thank you.